Day one of our continuation of the Cat started out cold and snowy, but we were all excited to get started. Even the cows were dancing. We met up with a couple friends in Livingston who will be joining us for our adventure. Neil was driving his stock Tundra, and Kelly was back with us in the Power Wagon. We didn't waste any time getting started, as we were all excited to see what the next 3 days was going to bring to us. Our first point of interest was Camp Wildcat. It's a historic Civil War site just outside of Livingston. This was definitely a spot to take time to stop and look around, but we all decided it was a little too cold for that this morning. We decided to come back in warmer weather when we could take our time and explore this historic site. Soon after you leave Camp Wildcat, the gravel Forest Service roads turn to dirt. The trail was going great, then all of a sudden we popped out into an area that had been completely clear cut. I'm not sure what was going on here. I'm not sure if it was just clear cut for the timber, if they're getting ready to do some type of surface mining here, or if it's some type of development, but they sure done a number on it. Then it was back onto the Blacktop for a few miles. While the Forest Service roads here are not tough at all, they're definitely scenic. We made it to S3 Campground. This is one of those places that we've always wanted to camp, but every time we get here it seems to be in the middle of the day. One of these days we'll catch it just right and we'll stay here overnight. The campsites here are primitive and have ample space between them. When the gravel road turned back into dirt, we encountered our first hill climb. While it wasn't real difficult for the vehicles we had in our crew, it could be a little difficult for those with less ground clearance. About 2/3 of the way up the hill, Deb wanted to stop and check out a rock cliff. It had a dark hole in it and she thought it might be a cave. We walked up to it, ended up not being a cave, but it was still pretty cool.
She'll be disappointed. Yeah.
I'm sure summertime is really neat along these trails with the canopy. But I think it's cool to come through the trails in the wintertime as well. You can see so many different things. You could tell that it had rained in the past, but the ground was still frozen. And the creeks were not high at all. We encountered a small tree across the road, but the new DeWalt battery-powered chainsaw made quick work of it. We were back on the trail in no time. There are multiple creek crossings along this route, just the same as the last leg. These are a little bit different though, they're not near as deep. And another quick section of Blacktop. Even though it was Blacktop, it was still pretty scenic. As we got to the Big Blue Bridge and looked at the river at the Lowhead Dam, we realized just how big it was. It was that time we started to get concerned about the trail that led into the railroad tunnel. And then this happened. Yep, you guessed it. In true overlanding fashion, it was time to find a detour. The detour didn't last long. We found ourselves right back on the Cat pretty quick. The sun was starting to get low on the horizon. We knew at some point pretty soon we were going to have to stop camping. The trail was just so cool through here, it was hard to stop. And right when we thought all the water crossings was going to be shallow, this one kind of jumped up and surprised us. Little did we know this is what we were going to look forward to tomorrow. Because of all the rain we've had in the last little bit, knowing how Spas Creek and Pumpkin Hollow get, we decided to cut off that section of the Cat and just cut across the southern part of the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. The shadows were getting longer. We knew it was time to set up camp. We wanted enough daylight to set up our camp and have a nice dinner before nightfall. We found this perfect campsite just off the road. It was the perfect ending to another perfect day with great friends and tremendous food. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you know when part 2 of this episode comes out. Thanks again for watching Coddiwomple Overland.